Thank you for joining. So the webinar today is Living Better with Parkinson's Disease, and our focus today is about the early stages of Parkinson's. And just a little background about Patients Engage. We are an online platform which enables patients and caregivers to improve management of chronic conditions. And the whole idea is that you're part of a community, you're not alone, and you are you get good quality information so that you can make better decisions about managing your condition. A couple of guidelines. So today's session, we've been doing this Living Better series for various conditions. We've done. Sorry, Mr. Pinto, we can hear you in these conversations. Yeah. So, we've been doing these series of presentations and webinars on living better. We've done in the past on various aspects of cancer, on the emotional well-being of special needs children as well as their moms. We've done on diabetes, and today we're doing one on living better with Parkinson's. Just so that everybody is aware, yesterday was World Parkinson's Day, and we thought that this is a good opportunity to focus on Parkinson's. One of the things we found was that awareness of Parkinson's is still fairly low. Very often people who are diagnosed with it don't know about it before, or they're not aware of the symptoms. And also, if you know about it, the fact that there are treatment options that can help you manage it better, as well as activities and therapies that you should be doing to improve your quality of life. So today's session is essentially to focus on that. A quick guideline to the attendees. The information here is based on experience of the panelists and not to be taken as medical advice. Please do consult your doctor. This session will be recorded and you can post your questions on the chat. So since we are not able to do the live feed, the Facebook comment does not apply, but we will be putting up the recording on YouTube as well as on Facebook later. So quick recap to start with. Parkinson's is a progressive disease, but it can be managed, and persons with Parkinson's can take proactive action to manage the conditions better. That's really one of the key messages of today's webinar. We're also going to challenge certain myths about Parkinson's, the symptoms, and also recognize that there is no single approach to dealing with the condition. And we've got, a wide range of panelists here. We've got Gargi, Ahluwalia, who's from Mumbai. She's 74. She was diagnosed 6 years ago. She'll talk about her experience as well. And we have Mr. Mario Pinto, who's 68, was diagnosed 2 years ago. We have Kiran, who wants to not be visible. So she's sitting with Nicole, who's the physiotherapist and head of therapy and research at PDMDS. Kiran was diagnosed 4.5 years ago. And Parna Mittal, and I'm the moderator for this session. So I think, and also I just wanted to kind of give a shout out to Parkinson's Disease and Movement Disorder Society of India, PDMDS. They are our partner for this webinar, and they are a very active group. We run support group and therapy group meetings and outreach centers in various parts of the country. The updated links where they have their centers is all on our website as well as on theirs. There's a whole range of content and resources which they've shared on our community page for Parkinson's, and also wanted to highlight that Parkinson's disease is now a recognized disability under the RPWD. And Nicole will talk a little bit more during the session about what the PDMDS therapy groups offer, and our panelists will also talk a little bit about their experience with it. So let me get started, and let me stop sharing this. Yeah, so we have, so we can now see everyone properly. So I'll get started with, my questions, and after we're done with the questions, we can take questions from the audience. I guess the key moment of diagnosis is often a momentous point or an unforgettable event for Parkinson's patients. So if we can quickly talk about, the symptoms that led you to see a specialist, or an event that led you to, ask for a proper diagnosis, then that would be useful for our audience. So let's start with you, Gargi.
Parkinson was diagnosed 6 years back.
Right.
That is the time that my husband passed away after a prolonged illness. I never realized that it was Parkinson's. I thought it was just nervousness because he was in the hospital for a month and a half.
Right.
But then later, when I spoke to my family doctor, he said that I should see a neurologist. So I went to see Dr. Mohit Bhatt, and he diagnosed it as Parkinson's. It was a familial case because my younger brother, who is 8 years younger than me, also has Parkinson's.
Right.
Yeah, I've learned to cope with it now.
Right. We'll come to that. So, what were the symptoms that were happening at that time that caused, you to be advised to go see?
I was spaced out.
Right.
Like I didn't know where I was walking, crossing the road. I would look for my car on one side of the road, and the car used to be parked on the other. And I was nervous. My hands were trembling. But I never thought that it could be Parkinson's.
Right. Right.
Until it was diagnosed.
Right. Right. Okay. Mario, do you want to talk about your symptoms and what led to the diagnosis?
Yeah, my symptoms are that my body was started getting a little frozen. All my joints were frozen, and my movements were restricted. And there was a time when I quite a big gap after knowing for the first time that I was in denial that I could have ever had Parkinson's.
Right.
But after that meeting the doctor first time, I thought he was also wrong. The second time when I met, they really meant something. Like, okay, let's get into the field and see what was the real problem. It was diagnosed the second time when I had my, I used to get blankouts. When I landed in hospital for with my breathing disability.
Right. Right.
And my pressure had dropped down very badly. When they started this dopamine in the hospital,
right,
that's the time my heart specialist told me to go and see a neurosurgeon.
Right.
And that's where I met Dr. Anil Venkatachalam. He told me that, you have to take these medicines. I will put you right. And I really found a big difference after the taking the medicine.
Right, right. So in your case, you did not have tremors, right? You had more stiffness.
No, I had no tremors at all. Only thing is my joints got frozen.
Right.
And second thing is my body gets caught up. I cannot if I'm thinking of walking, I cannot walk.
Right.
When my dopamine goes down.
Right. Right. Okay. And you, Kiran, what were your symptoms and what led to your diagnosis?
My symptoms were I overlooked because of my son. He passed about 4.5 years ago. And tremors and my trembling of my hand were not really bothering me so much because I was quite a bit down because of my son. But family members coaxed me into it to go to a doctor and get it checked.
Right.
And he diagnosed it, saying that I've got Parkinson's. But even then, it did not register the density of it, like how bad it would be, because I was weighing it with the other aspect of losing my son. So I never really got affected by what the doctor had to say.
Right.
So I didn't pay much attention. I didn't, but I definitely started with my medication. Whatever the doctor said, I followed his rules. But somehow it wasn't, the medicine didn't really come to action because my other part of it was so down and out.
Okay.
So I still continued with my medicine, but no effect as.
Right. So in terms of the reaction to the diagnosis, Gargi, in your case, there was familial history, but what was the reaction then, and who was the first person that you talked to about it?
My reaction was, how could I get? I never realized it's a familial thing. It's a hereditary thing. And only when I showed Dr. Mohit Bhatt, he said, Kiran, it is Parkinson.
Right.
And he put me on to medication. And I had to accept it.
Right. Right. And was there somebody that was there the first person you told to? Did you go with somebody for your consultations?
Yes. I went with my brother who has Parkinson's.
Okay.
I went with him. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And Kiran, what was your reaction, and who did you tell about it?
No, only my family members. I somehow have this habit of being secretive. So I never told my sister, I never told my other relatives or my nephews. And they somehow never even noticed my hand tremors because at times they were not as bad as they are normally.
Right.
So I would control my, tremors or fold my hands and sit. But sometimes, once in a way, we would get together and one of my nephews said, "Why is your hand trembling so much?" So just to cover up, my husband said, "Oh, she's feeling very nervous." So, it got it wasn't taken so seriously why my hands are trembling. My daughter went and told her cousins, and the cousin went and told my sister, and that's how the word spread. But my in-laws' side, not very many people know about.
Right, right. And Mario, what about you? I know you said initially you did not accept and you went and saw another doctor.
Denial time.
Denial time.
Actually, there was a doctor who was a very good friend of mine. I'm in Goa, and he told my mother that this guy is going in for Parkinson. So I looked at him very strangely. I said, "What the hell are you talking about?" I said, I couldn't go into Parkinson. But then after almost 3 years, I started feeling that dragging of the feet. I was falling backwards, like when I was trying to take off my listen. My shoulders were drooping. All these, and then my dragging of my feet also when I was walking. So after this, I started taking medicines. I found a different, what do you call, feeling, that
right.
then I started accepting it. Not that I accept it. Even now, I go and tell everybody by my side or otherwise, I'm a Parkinson's patient. You have to make them know. I mean, you have to let them know that you are a patient and that's about it. You have to accept it.
Right, right. Nicole, based on your experience with PDMDS, Parkinson's really requires proactive management, and PDMDS talks of the multidisciplinary therapy approach. Can you talk to us briefly about the various types of therapies and activities that can help people with Parkinson's?
So for Parkinson's, medication will always be the mainstay of treatment. The medications are required to replenish the low dopamine supply or boost the existing dopamine supply. And like Mario said, it does help. But in addition to that, there are varied symptoms in Parkinson's, and one is the motor symptoms, which are very visible, like the tremors or the difficulty walking or the change in posture. But there are also non-motor symptoms, which we don't see, which people talk about depression, or they talk about constipation, or difficulty with their mood and memory and attention. And for this very reason, you require multidisciplinary therapy. And so at the PDMDS, what we do provide is physiotherapy, especially for the movement-related symptoms. We have cognitive therapy, which is to help with memory, with attention, all the functioning of the brain. We have counseling as well, which is very important, firstly in learning to accept illness, but also with treating depression and other mood issues that could come up because of Parkinson's. But we also have creative therapies, which is now very upcoming, which is dance and music and art therapy, which through expression and creative expression, people are able to deal better with the condition. We have yoga, we have diet and nutrition. And nowadays, there's so many different options that you can look at to live better with Parkinson's. And that's what we provide at the PDMDS, which is a multidisciplinary model of care for people with Parkinson's.
Right, right. Great. So I think coming back to, the patients, how do you incorporate the various activities into your daily and weekly schedule? So Gargi, how do you ensure that you get all of these or some of these therapies into your routine, and how do you manage that?
I used to be an art and craft teacher in my children's school, boys' school, and in my daughter's school also.
Right.
So even now, I do a lot of handwork, creative work. I make home accessories like toaster covers, mixie covers, according to the size.
Right.
And so I keep doing something or the other. I even machine, which doctor said he was very happy. So that's very good.
So you use
all
the hand machine or the foot machine?
No, foot machine.
Foot machine. Right.
Foot machines. And you really won't believe that I can sit hours. I only get up, I have to have a medicine or eat something because I want to complete that thing.
Right.
And I feel happy about it. Right. So I think it's a very good way.
And you also drive, right?
I drive, yes. You'll be surprised I can't walk, but I can drive.
Right. Yeah.
But I take it to places where I can park the car.
Right.
Otherwise, again, crossing the road and it's difficult.
Right. And
Mario, I feel one has to be positive.
Sure, absolutely. And Mario, what does your kind of activities on a daily and weekly basis?
My daily, twice a week I go to Andheri East and Andheri West branches. On Fridays I go to Andheri West, Andheri East, and on Tuesdays Andheri West.
Right. And
So
these are the branches of PDMDS.
Yeah, PDMDS.
Right.
And they really keep you active, with all the exercises. And you practice it, of course, in every day. Some of the, at least the warm up.
Right.
Then second thing is I put on the music. My morning music is dedicated to some of the Brazilian singers.
Right.
And which keeps me, really. My movements are very fast. Turning around. Like otherwise, I have when I'm walking, I have to make four stops to turn around.
Right.
And when I'm dancing, it's just within the second.
With the rhythm and the beat.
Yeah, with the rhythm and the beat. My writing has dropped down, no doubt. It's become a little fine. But the signature and everything is okay. I think the bank is managed.
Right. Right. Okay. Great.
And I keep. There is another thing is I work in the society from 11 o'clock till 2:30. And I can't keep my wife hungry, so I have to rush back so that we can have lunch together.
Good. Yes, that's a good routine to have.
And my last part of it is I do the crosswords on the newspaper every morning.
Okay.
What is that?
Sudoku. Okay. Good. And Kiran, what are the activities that keep you engaged?
I prefer the outdoor ones. I prefer going for a swim, walk, laughter clubs. I'm more of an outdoor person than an indoor. But once I'm indoor, I feel, like just being lethargic, got nothing better to do. So let's read a newspaper, but no serious reading, no serious novels or thick books. They're not my cup of tea. But I love the activities, as I said, like laughter club, etc. I still am going for it. It's not only now. Many years I would prefer to do an outdoor thing than to sit in the room. I prefer doing that. I'd rather go for a swim than, or I love to go out for movies, go out for lunches, but nothing more than that.
Right. Okay. So it's interesting, right? Different people have different approaches to incorporating activities. How do you ensure, or how do you handle social obligations, parties, weddings, social engagements, and how do you balance that with ensuring that you're taking your medications on time or you're getting adequate sleep? Should we start with you, Mario?
Well, I must say that I'm blessed with a very good sleep. I have a very sound sleep from 10 o'clock to next morning about 6:30.
Right.
That keeps me, quite sane during the day. Like I've covered up. But my problem is when I go for a party, after my time is up, I start going down and that's when my doctor told me, in case the dopamine goes down, you can take one Singapore Plus.
Right.
And that's about it.
And you danced at your daughter's wedding recently, right?
I really danced, yes. I really dance.
Right.
I'm doing it every day in the morning.
Right. Good. And you mentioned, I think, in our previous conversation, when you approach nighttime, you tend to kind of go backwards and.
Yes, that's if I've seen that mostly when I miss my one dose, I seem to be falling backwards. So, especially when I'm taking my night dose of the CR, Singapore CR, with some other medicines which I'm supposed to take.
Right.
That time, even trying to take out the tablet from the strip makes me fall backward.
Okay. So you've discussed that with your doctor?
Yes. He says it's part of the. In fact, both my doctors are very happy with my results. All my reports, the blood reports, and even otherwise, my walking and all has improved.
Right.
I do a lot of walking in the evenings as well. But I cover up around at least 3 kilometers on a good brisk walk.
Right. Good. Okay. Kiran, you said you like to go out for movies and lunches. Do you also go out for dinners or other social engagements?
Social engagements, if I know those people very well, then yes.
Right.
But at random, I will not go. I'm hesitant to meet them. But if they're my close relatives or my sisters, then I would love to go.
Okay.
But I don't like to dress up as such, Okay, and I'm not conscious of dresses. Yeah, I don't have good clothes, so I'm not wearing the right kind of clothes. I'm not so deep into that. Though people tell me, you should wear this, you should wear that. No, I'm not fussy about that.
Right.
But I love to go out with my people, especially the lunches with my own people. I love it.
Okay. And is part of the reason you don't want to go to people you don't know is because you haven't not comfortable sharing?
No, that has got nothing to do with it. Though I don't talk about my illnesses to them.
Right.
No, I never talk of my Parkinson's with them.
Right.
I never, because as I said, I don't like to talk to them because it's not I'm not sharing my illnesses. I think it's food for gossip for them. They can go and that somehow puts me off, If you're a good friend, talk about in a different way. Or something you do to others.
Right. Okay. And you, Gargi, how do you handle social obligations?
I go for the party, but I carry my food with me because if it is dinner time, 8 o'clock is my dinner time. If it is lunchtime, 12:30 is my lunchtime. I take it with me, eat it in the car, and go and come back also at night. If I go out, I must be back home 10 o'clock. That is my limit because my Syndopa CR 250, which I take, it makes me weak.
Right.
So I feel like sleeping.
Okay.
So
yeah, again, as I said, different approaches. So I think Nicole mentioned some of the other symptoms, but if you can talk about whether, I think Gargi, Kiran and Mario, if you can talk about some of the other symptoms which are less well known, like most people know about tremors, they know a little bit about stiffness and the shuffle walk, but if you can talk about some of your other symptoms, that you think or that are related to Parkinson's.
Constipation is one of them.
Right.
Which I had 14 years back. I never realized it was due to Parkinson. And sense of smell.
Right.
I lost that also.
Right.
Years back.
Right.
Now I believe that is also one of the signs.
Correct. Okay. And Kiran, you?
Yeah, even I've been having constipation, I think, from childhood. I never, but at that time, of course, there was no question of Parkinson's.
Right.
And Recently, I did not connect the two together. It's only after I go to Portuguese church and when I hear them talk, then I realize, oh, this is connected with Parkinson. But somehow I still don't understand how they are connected. And in my family, my sister, most of us have this problem of constipation, but none of them have Parkinson's problem.
So, okay, I'll come back to you, Nicole, to respond to that thing. But before that, Mario, are there other symptoms that you have that you'd like to share with other people?
Sure. I need a lot of sleep.
Right.
I see that when I come back after lunch, I want to dive into bed as soon as possible.
Right. Right.
It's not a very long sleep, but 1 hour, 1.5 hours, 40 winks, like I call.
Right.
Then constipation also was part of the thing, because now I'm using some suppositories which help in this. And
you also talked about action dreams or something, right? So
that's always there. If my wife is not around, she would say, this program wouldn't have gone any further.
Right.
But I was good for the last few days. So she's not having any black eyes or black punch spot.
So just for the other people. Yeah, so for others to know what happens in action dreams, you move around, right? Or your hands move, your legs move, what happens?
I really don't know, but I know
but
my
what
wife
has your wife told you?
What do you do? He says, who did you see last night? Who are you fighting with? Or who are you shouting with? I even got up one night and I said, in the name of the Lord Jesus, be healed. I don't know who I was healing of. Myself or somebody else.
Right.
My biggest problem is my stomach that gets bloated out. I think it is because of having fruit soon after my lunch.
Yeah. Maybe you should have it before. Yeah.
Sorry?
Maybe you should have the fruit before lunch.
Before lunch, but I'm not there.
Right.
Before lunch.
Carry it to your society office.
They'll be sharing with many people.
Right. And you also mentioned, I think, how your hand sometimes slows down.
Yeah, my left hand actually gives me a lot of trouble. And I don't swing, especially when I'm walking. So when I start now, I start moving my hands.
Right.
But if I have to synchronize it with my feet,
Right.
That is the time when I think that my syllapa is really down.
Okay.
So I don't know. I've really not found the right symptom as yet.
Right.
My left hand is a little stiff, and my right hand. And I normally get all these blank thoughts. I don't know why. Well, I asked the doctor, he says he doesn't have any answer for that.
Right.
I would like to go and see a second opinion to find out why these blank thoughts are coming. Whether the dosage is too much for my tablets, or do they have to synchronize with one another?
Right.
Maybe. I don't know.
Right. Okay. And you're obviously not just taking Parkinson's medication, you're also taking your cardio, right? So
Yes.
Right. Okay.
I'm taking two. One is for cholesterol, and the other one is for my globulate. That is for my heart.
Right. Okay. So Nicole, I mean, I guess constipation is one of the symptoms, but I guess if you've had constipation since childhood, it may not necessarily be related to Parkinson's specifically, right? So do you want to talk about that and any other symptoms that you want to highlight?
Yeah, sure. First off, Mr. Pinto, I love your attitude and that you can laugh off some of the symptoms that you have. That's a great attitude to have. But yes, coming to some of these symptoms, so research does say that certain symptoms like loss of smell, which Gargi spoke about, constipation, which Kiran spoke about, even depression, they can actually occur many years prior to diagnosis of Parkinson's. But they alone don't warrant a visit to a neurologist or a movement disorder specialist. So people shouldn't panic or get scared. Parkinson's is diagnosed based on a number of factors, which would indicate to a professional that they have Parkinson's. Yes, tremor is one of them, but slowness is one of them. So it's not constipation or loss of smell in isolation. It's a combination of symptoms. So if you do have a number of the symptoms that are seen in Parkinson's, then it would be advisable to go and see a neurologist. Like Mario said as well, he never had the tremor. So it's not necessary that only if you have the tremor that you have Parkinson's. You don't, and you have a lot of the other symptoms, that could still be that you have Parkinson's, but it's important to go and get it diagnosed and checked out.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
And I think one other symptom that I think Kiran had talked about was also the speech and the voice getting locked. So Kiran, you want to talk about that and how you address that?
It started recently, like maybe a couple of months ago, that while talking, I just stop.
Right.
The voice doesn't come out. The word doesn't spill out. It's just there in my throat. And it takes me about not couple of seconds, 30 seconds also it could be. And finally the word comes out. The other person is wondering why she stopped talking, like what happened. But then, I don't know, it's a very recent addition to my problem, very recent.
Right. Okay. So I think, a lot of you and Nicole's talked of the various types of therapeutic activities or therapies that need to be done. How do you motivate yourself to keep doing all of this? For some people, it may seem extremely tiresome. I have to do my physiotherapy every day, or I have to do my movements every day. How do you motivate yourself to keep doing them?
Yeah, asking me?
Yeah, go ahead, Kiran, first, and then we'll go around.
No, I love to, because all these activities, these things, I love doing it. So I don't look bored or sad, or I just love to, and I enjoy doing it. So once the part is done, I feel that my quota of the day is over. I've done my part. And the day, but I have to miss it. I don't think I'm myself. I'm quite lethargic. I keep lying down. Nothing. And then I feel extra hungry also on those days. The days I don't do my activities, I feel more hungry.
Right.
And then I, gorge down, sort of unnecessarily eating this. And then I'm just out and out. Like I can't do anything else but just lie down and sleep.
Right. Anything that Mario or Gargi you'd like to add to this?
Yeah, I thought the best salesman was a drunkard. The best salesman was a drunkard. But I think the best salesmen are those who come and look after us on our Parkinson days.
Right.
Hats off to them. Our physiotherapists. And I always look forward for this Tuesdays and Fridays. Always. Not because of anything, you learn a little more to ease your body up.
Right.
I think they should be given all the credit. They should be given the credit.
Right. Gargi, you'd like to add something?
Even I look forward to the Thursday class.
Mm.
And it brings the spirit back in us. And the girls over there, they show us the exercises so beautifully.
Mm.
And I think we wouldn't do them at home.
Right.
Only when we are together, whatever age, we all do it together. We look so sweet. I think all look so cute doing all the exercises. Otherwise, if you saw anybody doing those exercises, you would feel this person has gone nuts. But we do them.
Right, right.
They make us laugh, they make us dance. So It's very good.
Mm. So, Nicole, are there any myths or misconceptions? I mean, I'm sure there are many, but if you would like to highlight, the top few that you see based on your conversations and your work.
I think a lot of misconceptions are primarily due to lack of awareness about Parkinson's. Some of the things that we've heard from other people include that someone diagnosed with Parkinson's just isolated herself from her family and her grandchildren, thinking that she would pass it on, thinking it was contagious. Sometimes people feel that it's due to their karma and it's something that they have to endure. They don't seek help.
Right.
But it's also sometimes people in the community who are not so accepting of other people with Parkinson's. And Mario also spoke about a drunkard, but sometimes they look at the tremor in the hand, or they look at the change in the way someone's walking and the blank face, and they think, oh no, he's an alcoholic. Or sometimes even looking at a person with Parkinson's who's a bit slower or has a blank face, they think, and a brain-related illness, they think, oh no, they're mentally challenged, which they're not. You can see some very, very bright people with Parkinson's. And so these are the misconceptions people have about Parkinson's, and it's all due to the lack of awareness. I think people also think that it's only an old person's condition. Whereas you have young onset Parkinson's, which is between the age groups of 21 to 40. And you can even have juvenile onset Parkinson's, which is below the age of 21.
Wow.
So although primarily it's above 60, you do have a large number of people in the age group of 21 to 40 also getting early onset, young onset Parkinson's.
Okay. And I guess if there are questions from the attendees, you can post them on the chat. So if, okay, let's come to, kind of combining two questions. Is there something about your disease that you hate, and how do you cope emotionally? Gargi?
I don't think one should hate the disease. It's better to learn to cope.
Accept it.
Right.
Accept it. Because it'll help us. If we accept, our thinking changes, our moods change, which are helpful to us in the longer run.
Right. Right.
So we have to accept. Now my son, I have twins. One of them has been diagnosed with Parkinson's just a year back.
Right.
But I took it in my stride, and I saw to it that he's back on his feet now.
Good, good.
So,
Kiran, do you have anything to say on this?
No, I take time to accept it. I just can't solve it in one go, like, okay, I've got it. It took me a little. As it is, I was bowed down with my son's this, and then on top of this, of course, at that time, this didn't matter so much because the other thing was so fresh on my mind. But with time, I suppose everything is to be swallowed down. It takes time. Some take a little longer, some take less. It doesn't take very long, but that's because I didn't take very long because of my other problem, other sorrow.
Right.
But then with the time, I think I'm accepting it. I'm trying to do the things which are required and so on.
Right. Mario, would you like to add anything?
I thank all the younger crowd in my colony who always say, "You are our model."
Sorry?
You are our model.
Oh, you are our model.
Role model.
Role model.
Can you imagine? I don't know why, but I think I'm smile, accept what you have to what you're doing, or what is happening to you. You have to accept it.
Right. Right.
You cannot run away from the situation.
Right.
And I think we should be happy. If there is every time you go to the for your Parkinson day, you have a new person.
Right.
So it's I think people are realizing that they have to come for the therapy.
Right. Okay. Let's take a few questions. We've got a question which says whether physiotherapy was prescribed by the doctor right from the beginning. No, you're shaking your head, Mario. You're saying that the doctor did not prescribe.
No, not prescribed, but it's like he told me to go and see some place where I could do the exercise, you know. But what was the outcome of that exercise, I didn't know myself.
Right.
And he didn't have the centers. I think we should on our PDMDS have to go and meet doctors and tell them that these are the centers that we have for physiotherapy.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay.
If they don't have anybody, we could go ourselves.
Right. You've got volunteers, Nicole.
I know, I'm going to catch him on that.
I told you from the beginning, I'm ready to help you out any day.
Right.
I'm going to take you for your word.
Yes, I can.
Question for you, Gargi. While driving, do you face any difficulty activating your legs? I guess not, given that you...
No.
So, but anyway, go ahead and answer.
I don't feel anything at all.
Okay.
Changing of gears is also very simple.
Right.
It's only I have to be careful. I have to give my indicator while turning right or left or keep to the center.
Right.
That I have to be careful.
Right. Right.
And that I'm alert. Because I take my medication on time.
Right.
My one advice to everybody would be to have their medication on time.
Okay. So that kind of takes us to the last question is what is your advice to, anybody who's listening to this and struggling to cope with the condition, and what can they do to feel more in control, more empowered?
First thing is join the club.
I wish there are more centers across the country, but they're growing.
Yes. It is us who are going to do it.
Right.
We have to do it. And I think we can boost and have some more clubs. I think that's the best thing. To have a few more clubs around the place.
Right.
It is not a Parkinson camp, but it's a club. New members, most welcome, free of charge.
Right. Right. Gargi?
Sorry.
Your advice to anybody out there who's struggling to cope with the condition or accept, or what can they do to feel more empowered?
I think they should do the exercises regularly, which is very essential.
Right.
And every area has a group taking these classes, which are free. So why not avail of them?
Right. Right.
And like I said earlier, when you're together, you do it. Alone, you can't do these exercises. Don't feel heartbroken. Cheer up. Things could get better and will get better.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Kiran?
Yeah, I also think the same. One should be very occupied throughout the day. Whatever they like to do, they should do that. And instead of brooding on it, and more important than this is that you should have a medication very, very regularly. Because I've noticed when I don't take my medicine for some reason or the other, I'm miserable the next day. I'm very miserable. It's not only the Syndopa or even my vitamins which I take. If I miss those also, I don't think I'm myself that day.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay.
One last.
Yeah. Go ahead, please.
Avoid sad occasions.
Avoid sad occasions. Okay.
That's true.
Yeah, I have stopped going for funerals.
Yes. That's right.
Chauthas.
So you just don't
pay condolences. I don't go.
Okay.
Because as it is, we can't walk.
Right.
Then making way through people and makes it very obvious. So best is later on one can pay condolences. And I don't think anybody minds or misses.
Right. Right.
It's not worth. Because then you get back some memory which pulls you down.
Okay, that's a good tip. Anything else, Nicole, that you'd like to add?
I think in terms of advice to people with Parkinson's is to realize that they're not alone. And I thank you, Aparna, for getting us on this platform so that we can tell other people that there are other people who do have Parkinson's. We're currently in 60 centers in 13 states. So you can check out our website to find more details about that. But I also would like to say there is a lot of hope now for people with Parkinson's, and something you shouldn't lose. There are better medications, better therapies like physio and exercise programs, dance. You have such a wide variety of options that you can choose from. And it can definitely help live a better quality of life. So seek help, go to people who know and can help you with your Parkinson's, and you'll definitely be much better and be able to cope better. So there is a lot of hope.
Okay, all right, that's good. I'll just quickly share, the kind of the final screen. So just for people out there, obviously thanking the panelists who have taken their time and shared their experience very candidly, very honestly, and the highs and the lows. But I think anybody who is listening to this would get a lot of value from this. So thank you for your time, Gargi, Mario, Kiran, and Nicole, and working through with the technology challenges and the issues as well. And yes, as Nicole said, I think it's important for all of us to learn from each other and to share. So I think also, PDMDS has its own site, plus we also have the Parkinson's community on the Patients Engage platform. So, and we work collaboratively with them. So if you have any questions, you can ask on those platforms, you can ask on our Facebook page. And if you have an experience to share, please write into us. I think or if you have a question as well, you can write into us. As I said, this will be recorded and uploaded on YouTube, and we'll share on Facebook as well. And it's a pity that we could not go live on Facebook. Yeah, I think thank you once again for all your time, and we look forward to probably another round of another topic around Parkinson's in a few months' time. So I think there's a lot we can cover here as well. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Kiran.
Thank you.
Gargi.
Thank you.
And thank you to the participants.